Okay, so probably you have today. We're gonna talk about a couple of things. I hope I can use the uh, uh, I can use a narrative way to describe it. First, we're gonna talk about the AI wave has arrived, and then we're gonna talk about the AI agents are taking human-like jobs. So we talk about the jobs, not tasks. Rethink about our identity. So this is a challenge, but we're gonna have our own perspective and see the opportunity. And then what kind of shift we have to perform, and what is the key? The key is the mindset, and what is the urgency? The urgency is act now. All right. So here is the quotation from probably likely from Jason Huang. It is not AI that replaces your job, but the persons who know AI. So that means this is the tide. We're going to ride on the tide. All right. So the first thing is why we say AI is a tidal wave has arrived. If you look at this diagram, you're going to see in the next 10 years, the revenue on this area going to be from 5.2 billion to about like 200 billion. So I'm not, well, the average growth rate is 45%. So that's a big deal in our market, in our economic. Um, so the second thing I want to share, the information I want to share is if you look at the title, it's say why AI agents will take over. The reason is there is a couple of reasons. If you see the pie, that is the distribution of the market share by the giants, let's say ChatGPT, Gemini, Cloud, um, and probably some others, right? The reason is number one, uh, you know, AI agent can be much more functional than the chatbot AI, which is we're using now, right? We're using ChatGPT to send questions and get some responses and ask the ChatGPT to do some, let's say, multimodal work, like a generate pictures, images, um, and even videos, right? But the AI agent gonna do more than this. The second thing is this is really, really cool that AI agent is supposed to be autonomous. So that means if you assign a job for him, he's gonna find a way to do that instead of you don't have to define it, uh, in detail. It's gonna be more efficient. And another cool stuff is it's gonna lower down the threshold that for people that use AI. So you can work on AI without a lot of technical knowledges. That means, however, however, we still see there is a big market on the technical side. All right, so then we talk about the AI agent are taking human-like jobs. So first of all, let's consider what is the job and what is the function. So essentially, the software for now they usually offer functions, different functions. We're going to call those functions using whatever the API, web API. Um, they can perform some tasks. However, like a human, what we gonna take? What we take? We take a job. We apply for a software engineer, apply for an architect. We apply for a manager, a technical manager. So we're taking a job, but the AI agent is going to take over, I mean, to the taking human like a job. Okay, I think Jay had a good description of those jobs. Okay, so what is the AI? When we talk about an AI agent, what is inside? A system that autonomously complete complex tasks. That's a job. and it can do planning. I'm trying to use, easy to understand words right over here. Planning, perspection or sensing, execution, learning, automation. All right, some examples are here. Well, I think the area is a rapidly developed, rapidly expanding area. So every day you're going to see some new stuff, or maybe every other day. It's very, very frequent. All right. So if we talk about AI agent, I'm not trying to, double the work that Jenny has already talked. But essentially, what we want to say is AI agent has two aspects. I got this slides from a professor from Carnegie Mellon University a couple of days ago, maybe last week. So this is the idea. If you know reinforcement learning, this is really, really similar. So you got an agent, you got an action, you got an environment, you got to well, actually, there is some like a policy inside. It's like a rewarding function. Just like you can borrow a lot of ideas from um, reinforcement learning. However, the traditional neural network, like for computer vision and for language processing, are still valid. They are the foundations of AI agent. So yeah, I got this picture from another presentation and saying the AI agent has a couple of forms, right? Number one, we send a request and they're going to respond with a text description. Or otherwise, the second column is when we send a request, it's going to generate some other response with other model. Let's say we send a description, it's going to respond with then they're going to respond an image, right? The Sora going to respond with a video clip. Okay, so the third one is this AI agent. It's a little bit further. It can request for some information from the third-party service and get the service. It's just like a web API. Get responses and display it, use it for its response. For example, like a weather. What is the weather? What is the temperature now in New York City, for example? So what we got is we got the temperature, the weather information, and combine with our responses. The third one for now is we can control the external service. Okay, so let's say you want to book a flight ticket, and it's gonna, enable a an action that actually book the flight for you. All right, so there is some architecture, there is some components. I'm not trying to, let me save this time. So if there is some like a basic stuff, like an input, knowledge base, task, what is that? Task planning and reasoning. We need a tool integration and execution engine. And also we need the system monitoring. That's very important. And response, what is that? Oh, response generation. That's right. The decoding. Right? And also security. We're going to run some non-functional features like a security. All right. So obviously, I got a QR code right over here. If you want the PPT, the slide of this presentation, I put the QR code for you to scan. And if you don't scan right now, this QR code is available in future slides as well. Okay. So yeah, there is I mean, to explain this, let me show a picture on this. This is from traditional RPA. What is a robot process automation, right? That's very traditional stuff to multi-engine system that Jay mentioned. And also, we're going to understand large language model embedding is important, especially for multimodal. That means the AI can understand the context in different formats of the information, including text, image, audio, video, that kind of thing. Maybe some other stuff. There is a roadmap I just copied from from the internet. So you can follow the Learn Generative AI Basics and use the no-code AI tools. You don't have to know coding initially. And definitely you can learn, if you want to go further, you can learn some learning, you can learn some basic programming, you can master prompt engineer. Prompt engineering does not require you to understand coding, but it requires you to understand how AI works. And then you can explore some like lag chain and RAG stuff. So that means, all right. So, right, so essentially you can build your own system. You can scale up, showcase your skills, maybe set up your own business. So I think this makes sense, right? All right, I put a little bit stuff over here. What is the AI agent? Essentially, you're going to connect LLMs and the tools, right? Different texts. And the memory here is not the computer memory. It's a permanent context storage, which means it's going to save some important information forever. Okay, so the idea is pretty much like a long-term memory, if you similar in some aspects, right? And the task chain, that is the job of planning. There is a cool stuff right over here. You can build your first AI agent in 30 minutes. So this is a link that I found it. I haven't got a chance. I haven't got 30 minutes to complete it. But it should be give you a good idea about what the AI agent, how can we build it. And definitely there is something I think important. The first is the MCP that Jay mentioned, and also the AI agent. We need to build some rail fence, right? Build some fence on that. So the agent analysis is important, and agent monitoring is also important. We want to make sure AI does the right thing, but not harmful to human beings. All right, so now we talk about our identity. Since this is a transformating age, so yeah, a lot of people have to rethink our identity. Maybe we're going to think about a shift of our role in the society. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so I understand a lot of guys here are technical staff, right? So probably many of us are engineers. Some of them are managers, but that means leader, engineer leader. All right. So I'm not sure how many people here are innovators. I know there is a lot, but not everyone. How many entrepreneurs? I believe we have some. Okay. Well, if you look at here, I put the triangle and gold triangle right over here. Did you know that these three rows are very close each other? So it is not really hard to shift from one role to another. I don't know, at least from engineer to innovator to entrepreneur. That's true. We have a lot of examples. Yeah, maybe in the future, you definitely going to see a lot of people in our association, like Dr. Yang, right? And some others. Um, yeah, all right. So what is the difference? Software engineering begin with some defined requirements, but innovation begin with exploration. So we're going to look for something instead of doing something. And AI is redefined technical careers. So a lot of predefined jobs will be um, diminished. Yeah, will be less and less. That's what I want to say. All right. So, well, definitely, I want to say, I want the information right over here. We want to say, the information I want to deliver here is innovation starts with problems, not requirements. So we're going to shift well, usually as an engineer, myself was a software engineer. We started with requirements, but we're going to deal with the information before we got this requirements. All right. So definitely, engineers build the things right, and innovator figure out the right thing to build. And also, innovation is about invention. Entrepreneur, what is the difference, right? So, about like entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship again is about execution. The execute a business, not a making stuff. Okay. So yeah, I'm not trying. I know everyone has more or less ideas about how to do innovation. But let me put some like uh, general expected, generally expected points right over here, so that this is a kind of a line on the road, so that you can follow. Make sure you're not too much away from this. If you are not sure you are doing the right thing. So this is some like indicators of where you are, or where you're, you know, doing some acceptable things. Okay, first is observe and identify problems, and then generate ideas and build a prototype, validate with real users. So you're going to talk about your potential customers, or maybe stakeholders and some other, testers. You can define the value proportion, build a business model, test the market fit and the launch, and scale and the lead. I'm going to give a little bit more discussion on each of them. Essentially, what we look is the pay point, efficiencies, and unmet needs. So there is a gap between our anticipation and the real product. So that is where we want to make innovation. But sometimes the problem comes from there is another a phase that we can introduce. Let's think what kind of skills we have and how much resources we have. Um, and then we identify what kind of things we can do that can lead us to have some ideas to figure out problems to solve. So that means the problem is what we need to figure out. However, before that, we can come from different angles in order to figure out, to identify a problem. Generate ideas. Uh, so I'm going to say general ideas. There is hold on a second. Okay. Yeah. Generate ideas is brainstorm multiple solutions. Actually, we can generate multiple ideas with multiple resources. I think I forgot to put that slide right over here. So essentially, you generate a lot of ideas. And for each of them, you generate some like multiple solutions. You're going to have a selection process. And eventually you're going to merge. You're going to identify the problem you want to solve and merge all the strength uh, coming from other ideas into your action, into the solution you're going to act on that. So yeah, we're going to use design thinking, analogy, and lateral thinking tools. So there is some tools you can search for that can help to generate the idea. Actually, I know Dr. Xiaotejun, T.J. Shaw, has wrote 2 books about how to generate ideas. Okay, so and then we're gonna build like a prototype. We're gonna create a quick uh, a proof of concept and a functional prototype and minimal variable product. So we're going to talk these in a little bit more details later, but this is the general idea. We're going to focus on testing assumptions, not perfection. So don't try to build a perfect initially, but focus on uh, whether the feasibility of your idea. Okay, so you're going to validate with real users. This, you can conduct the user testing and the interviews, collect the feedback early and often. Why? Because the early you know the feedback, the better. The better you can be confident about you're on the right track. This process has to be iteratively performed. Okay, so now it's probably you can start to define your business. So you're going to define the value proposition. So what makes your solution unique, useful, and desirable, and identify your target user and why they are here. So this is kind of a survey. You're going to talk with your tester, stakeholder, and potential customers. So now, after this, you're probably going to think about your business. This is the stage that you can introduce some early stage investment. You can prepare your pitch deck and do some fundraising. You're going to, you know, well, in your pitch, right? You're going to decide, you're going to you're going to outline revenue streams, cost structure, and the growth path. And you're going to choose between startup, licensing, B2B, B2C. So the way that you can perform your business. So look at here, there is a lot of question about the investment. I want to put the point right over here in the title. Investors do not just fund ideas. They find the teams with traction and the vision. So there is 2 things, right? We probably gonna thought a lot. The investors, they invest your proposal, your technical proposal, your product proposal. That is not true. Investors invest on people. Yeah. When to raise whenever you have validated your idea, problem, and the market need, and you have a clear value proposition and the basic business model, and you need the capital to build, launch, and scale. So you need to do some business. Hopefully, you have some initial customers or feedbacks from customers. The fundraising strategy tips: target angel investor accelerator or pre-seed or seed funds at first. Build relationships before you need the money. So that means a lot of people say, hey, don't worry about that. So let me wait until I have to do that. No, you're going to expose yourself to investors, different investors. Yeah, be ready to negotiate valuation, equity, and milestones. So don't just listen. Okay, you're gonna find the way that best benefit for you. There is a lot of tips right over here. Probably we can invite experts to give more insights on these topics. Okay, so yeah, definitely, there was different types of investors, but for investors, the idea is we need money. I mean, you only wanna, okay, you need some money for your business, and you need the resources and the guidance of for your business. A lot of people, guess what? The technical, for technical innovator, they do not have experience in doing business. This where investors can help. Yeah, I've put some types of investors and the funding, uh, approximate funding range, right? So from lower to higher, probably the first three is where we want to. I want to say the first is a lower level that we just begin. Um, and the five is somewhere you have a good volume of customer. So I think we can initially we can focus on one, two, or maybe three. So one, two, three is probably want to take a deeper look if you do have that. Okay, so get and launch your your business. Okay, so you're gonna yeah, so I think you're gonna start a pilot market and a niche. So it's essentially you're gonna increase your adoptions. That's a general practice, which means attract a lot of user to use your business and adjust based on user behavior, traction, and matrix. And then you can change your price. That means okay, scale and the lead, right? Expand. All right. So what is the shift? How how to shift from the maker to innovator? So let's focus on this particular area. So I think there is a couple of stages. I want to say five stages. Probably you see a six bulletin here. The reason is the very last one is iteration, which means you're going to repeat this cycle. All right. So the first thing is the inspiration, um, pain identification. So you're going to find something which is not good, not efficient, not like anticipated. So that's where you looking for and pivot your idea. No idea is perfect initially. Don't expect the smartest guy who can generate a perfect idea. And we just execute as defined. There's no such a way. Everyone is so bad, including ourselves. Okay, so the pivoting is essentially to value our ideas, to promote the way that we can convert it into a real business. It's not something we want to eliminate something. It is to value and promote and advocate, um, you know, the projects look like have some defects. And the literature research and competitive research. Well, guess what? We're going to do a lot on this. A lot of people don't just do that. Just do blinding business, which means you use your intuitive thinking. That's not the idea to win, because business is a competition. So there's no chance to win if you don't do sufficient research or survey. And also, and then we can do some like, one important idea is we're going to do some proof of concepts and prototyping. What is the proof of concepts? Well, that's essentially prove your idea works. That's for your own. That's for you. And what is a prototype? You building some like interactive functions that you can convince your stakeholder that this is a good thing. All right. So if you talk about MVP, minimal variable product, that is for your customer. That's essential. So these are some different stages we're building our product. But from beginning to the to a established phase. Okay, so constraints management. Guess what? We do everything under constraint. We don't have sufficient time. We don't have you know human resources. We don't have technical resources. We don't have financial resources. Lack of time. Everyone does that. So yeah, we will have to deal with this constraints. And we're going to optimize this. This is the strategic stuff. Okay, we are STEM guys, we are technical guys. We like to use mathematics, clear logic to calculate the optimal value. But guess what? Business is not like that. The business, the only thing, I mean, we always talk about strategic. Strategic means we don't know what to do. Let's just try and error. Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm going to talk about these five stuff. The how can you get inspiration? Observe daily life, talk with real people. There is a lot of work right over here. Be a hardworking guy because this stage is important. If you miss this stage, you're probably gonna go wrong in next phase. And the scan community and the forum reflect the personal experience, tracking emerging trends. The key point I want to deliver here is inspiring isn't about invention. Okay, it's about listening better, looking closer, and asking smarter questions. So what does it mean? Talk to people, trying to get the information. Okay. All right, exploration and the loop. What is that? Yeah, I think I want to say pivoting. What is the pivoting? Um, it is, if you're a technical person, you know what pivot is, right? We build pivot table all the time. Yeah, that means we keep some valuable stuff. We look at the things differently. So this is what as we, as we know, no idea is perfect. We have to do a lot of discussion on existing proposal. So this is a pivot. Yeah, so it is a strategic shifting in your idea directions or solution. It's based on new insights, data, and feedback. When to do that? Well, usually there is a couple of, still have time? Oh, oh yeah, thank you so much. Okay, yeah. Um, so if, okay, let me tell you, it is really, really easy to move yourself. I feel so good about what I did. Okay, let me tell you one thing. Others do not. Other people do not. So if you think it's good, it doesn't mean others think it's good. That's number one. Number two, if you think it's good is not good enough because business is innovation is a competition. Okay, it is an open. This is an open world. I always hear that they produce some product and it's soon uh, being replaced by some other solutions. So yeah, okay. So the important thing right over here is innovation is not stubbornness. It is thinking of a better way and moving smarter. So always pivot your ideas. Put a lot of discussions right over here and thinking. So again, literature, research, literature and competitors research. Definitely, I put two stuff right over here. 读书破万卷，下笔如有神. If you act intuitively, there is no way to win. Okay. The second thing is, yeah, we all know this, right? Isaac Newton says, if you have seen future, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. So yeah, do a lot of research. Don't miss this part. Okay, so POC, prototyping, proof of concept, and prototyping. Well, this is the phase that you're going to build something. First, convince your team. Second, convince your stakeholder. Yeah, you don't have to put a lot of time, but make sure you use no-code, low-code tools for speed, such as a Figma. I use a lot of, Figma and MIT App Inventor. I don't know too much about the bubble, but it's pop up from the internet. And test the one or two core features, not full product. Okay, so if you know that's not it's not important, or you know it is really, really doable, you don't have to spend a lot of time on that. And pre-authorizing learning over policy. So a lot of times don't try to make it perfect, okay, initially. So make sure your idea can go through and build a minimum variable product. For this minimum variable product, you probably want to deliver it for some initial customers. For example, you're going to deliver it for some like free free users, right? For example. Okay. So here's the thing. If you're so smart, you create a really, really good job initially. That's very likely it is not true. Okay, so Reid Hoffman, he's the co-founder of LinkedIn and some other companies. He said if you're not embarrassed by your first prototype, you are launched too late. So that doesn't make sense. All right. So yeah, I've put some ideas about here about a lot of actually some questions about the PLC prototype and BP. I put the comparison right over here. Essentially, it is from small to big and from internal to external. Okay, managing constraints. Definitely, we have a lot of constraints right over here. Technical, financial, regulatable. If you want to do energy and electric utilities, especially for utilities, right? There is a whole lot of regulations, from the government and the time and the market. So I want to say innovation thrives not in the absence of constraints, but in learning to dance with them, which means you're going to deal with them. Okay. A good management of these constraints is kind of like an indication the chance you are successful, you succeed. Okay, so yeah, okay. I think there is another thing I want to mention here is the iteration. So we actually don't try to do these things just one time. It's probably need multiple times to do them. Okay, so mindset. Yeah, I really think everything is about the mindset. I definitely know you guys are, including me, might be, are smart guys. We don't have to do the job that we're doing. If we do something else, we'll be the same of excellence, right? So, but what leads us to our current job? That's your mindset. All right. So yeah, I want to say the first one is the growth mindset. It is proposed by a very famous guy, I mean, educator, uh, the week, Carol the week. Yeah. She was a professor of Stanford University. He said, this is, well, a lot of people say, so we see things static, which means, oh yeah, I'm good or I'm not good. You know, if someone won before, I think this time I'm gonna lose. Well, this is not true. So what she says is, you know, every one of us can embrace the challenges and develop a yet mentality. What does that mean? That means saying, if I'm not successful, that means we're not successful yet. Okay. The real life gives you a lot of chance. This is not like you know, college admission exams. If you fail one time, 1 year, you probably you know, it's you're gonna lose the chance to go your dream school. But here is not the it's not the it's not the case. Just use not yet mentality and promoting risk taking. So the risk, a lot of people say think the risk is less rewarding, but this is not true. The real rewarding jobs um, from from risk taking jobs encourage exploration, curiosity, provide constructive feedback, nurturing, collaborative, and sharing, cultivate a positive mindset. So that means whenever we see that, is that the drawback. I think the drawback is where we're going to improve, but the values are already there. Yeah, we're going to start out realistic goals, which means make sure it is feasible. A lot of, you know, this needs some backgrounds to evaluate it. If needed, you can hire some professional in the area to evaluate it. Providing inspiration and role model. Yeah, in a team of innovation, everyone should understand we're so you know nicely to other people, and everyone realize one thing: you have to work hard. You have to be very collaborative in order to promote such a environment. Otherwise, you eventually going to be you're gonna be behind. Okay. So yeah, integrating reflection, that means we got some feedback lessons to learn, into improve. I got some like videos. I'm not going to play them, but the videos are amazing. Okay, so um, that's these are the videos. This is a homework a couple of years ago when I was in the MIT App Inventor program. Okay, another thing is constructionism. This guy is Simon Paper. He's a professor of MIT. His idea, I put the paper here. And what he said is, it does not view abstract logic reasoning as the highest stage of uh, cognition. So that means this is we probably gonna think everything when we understand, um, you know, uh, we have to come from some like a logical reason, but this is not true. He said, he said this is not true, but instead support multiple cognitive pathways. So that means we're gonna make construction in different ways that's gonna give us a lot of insights and experience and the potential to succeed. So I think this is another mindset I have the rather to to suggest to innovators. So the very last thing I think we're gonna act now. every big idea start with small. So we're going to start with small. You don't need to be perfect, just curious and courageous. Look for what is broken, frustrating, or overlooked in the world around you. You're going to find a lot of problems to solve. Um, so I want to say, if you want to be an innovator, the longer you be an innovator, the more idea you're going to generate per unit time period. And ask a bold question. Be willing to start messy. Learn as you go. That means when you do that, don't pick an easy problem. The easy problem does not lead you to be successful. Okay, a lot of you know apparently hard questions, you can solve it because you don't compete with the solution. I mean, the anticipation, but you compete with your competitors. If you do better than others, you're going to succeed. Okay, start where you are. Um, so what you know and build what you can. You're going to start. Don't think I have to go some like graduate programs or some like a famous in at famous schools. No, no, you don't have to. Yeah. You're going to start then and learn what you need to learn. I think the priority is different. I'll talk to users, test fast, and iterate forward. Collaborate, pivot, and don't be afraid, change the course. So changing um, is probably inevitable in your path to for innovation. So I will skip this. The triangle innovation, technology, innovation, and business. This is a triangle. You can they're closer than you thought. Yeah, even though they are different roles, but and think about those little figures like 21, 20, 21, before graduation from college. They can be CEO, right? They can be innovator. Okay, so be a human, be one that human AI can't replace. So yeah, the AI will never replace if you have empathy. Empathy, you are on purpose doing things, you have vision. So I want to say it is not AI that replaces your job, but the persons who know AI. And also, if AI is the tool, you must become an architect. So that means um, your focus will have a shift. So yeah, lastly, I want to say embrace the AI era and be a problem-driven innovator and take the first step today. So you're going to set up, start now, and the next era with DFW IT Association. Okay, and I've seen some models right over here. We all have models. Many of us have wives, have children. So I want to say in Chinese, 在探索创新的旅程中，是母亲给我们勇气和力量。This is my experience. 祝所有的母亲母亲节快乐，愿爱与智慧同行。谢谢大家。